It's strange how someone can leave, and yet never really leave. You're not here anymore. Not in my daily routine, not in my calls, not in my messages, not in the small corners of my day where you once existed so naturally. And yet, I feel your absence everywhere. Every morning when I wake up, there's a second, just a second, where I forget you're gone. In that tiny space between sleep and reality, I almost reach for my phone, almost expect a message from you. Then the memory returns. And so does the silence. I don't talk about you. Not to my friends, not to my family, not even to myself out loud, because I don't know how. How do you explain that someone who isn't physically present still shapes your entire day? The cafe near my office still plays the song you used to hum absent-mindedly. I pretend not to notice, but my hands always pause midair when it comes on. The street we once walked down after it rained still smells the same. Even the sky sometimes reminds me of you, that soft shade of evening blue you loved so much. I tell myself I'm fine. And maybe, technically, I am. I go to work, I meet deadlines, I laugh at jokes, I attend gatherings. I function. But functioning is not the same as healing. There's a difference between surviving and moving on. And I think I'm still surviving. Every day, I feel your absence like an invisible weight pressing gently against my chest. Not heavy enough to crush me, just enough to remind me that something is missing. Something important. I've tried, I've tried to explain it to myself. I sit alone sometimes, late at night, and think about you. About us. About where it all shifted from forever to goodbye. Was it the distance? The misunderstandings? The pride we never swallowed? Or was it simply timing? You used to tell me I was bad at expressing my feelings. You feel deeply, you'd say, but you hide it. Maybe you were right. When you needed reassurance, I gave logic. When you needed warmth, I gave silence. When you needed words, I gave you my presence, but not my voice. I thought you understood. I thought staying was enough. I didn't realize that sometimes love needs to be spoken, not just felt. Now, I replay our last conversation over and over again in my head. You sounded tired. Not angry, just tired. I don't know what you feel anymore, you said softly. I wanted to shout, I feel everything. But what came out was, you're overthinking. That was the moment I lost you. Not because I didn't love you, but because I didn't know how to show it in a language you understood. And now, every day without you feels like a sentence I can't finish. I miss you. There. I said it in my head. But even now, imagining saying it out loud feels impossible. Because what if you've moved on? What if you're happier? What if my confession only disturbs your peace? So instead, I keep it inside. I carry you quietly. In the way I still glance at my phone during sunset because that was our time. In the way I avoid certain places because memories live there. In the way I compare every new person to you and find them lacking. Not because they're not enough, but because they're not you. Time has passed. People assume that time fixes everything. They don't realize that time doesn't erase. It softens. The sharp pain has dulled. The nights are less unbearable. I don't break down the way I used to. But the absence? It's still there. Like a quiet echo. I've met other people. Tried to open up. Tried to convince myself that love can happen again. And maybe it can. But something inside me remains unfinished. It's not obsession. It's not desperation. It's simply unfinished emotion. There are so many things I never said. That I admired how you handled pressure. That I loved the way you overthought small things. That your laugh was my favorite sound. That you were my safest place. Instead, I acted calm, reserved, unbothered. I thought vulnerability was weakness. Now I know it was courage I lacked. Sometimes I imagine running into you somewhere unexpected, a bookstore, a wedding, a random street. I imagine you smiling politely, asking how I've been, and I imagine myself finally saying it. I miss you. Every day. Not to win you back. Not to disturb your life. But to free myself from the weight of unspoken words. Because the hardest part isn't that you're gone. It's that I still feel you here. In my thoughts. In my pauses. In my quiet moments. I don't know if love ever truly disappears. Maybe it transforms. Maybe it becomes memory. Maybe it becomes a lesson. Or maybe it becomes a silent companion that walks beside you for years. I don't hate you for leaving. I don't blame you. If anything, I blame myself for not speaking when I had the chance. Now, every day I feel your absence. But I've learned something important. Missing someone doesn't mean you're weak. It means you loved honestly. And even if I never find the courage to say it to your face, I carry this truth inside me. I loved you more than I knew how to express. And I still do. Silently.